So personally, I am appalled of the recent released information from Elon Musk with the Twitter files, and some of the latest stuff that has come out was how much better your natural immunities are after infection versus the mRNA vaccines. And so I'm curious what your guys' point of view on it. What are your all's thoughts on natural immunity versus the mRNA vaccines? Hello everyone, J. Rhymes here with the Periodic Review. Hopefully I will earn your subscription today, so don't forget to like and share this video, crush that red subscribe button, and hit that bell and turn on notifications so you don't miss a content release. Now, it is now a fact that the government has colluded with big tech companies such as Twitter to censor information to the public. What are my thoughts on the censorship and bannings of content creators to mislead Americans to just get the jab? As they said, it stops you from getting the infection and spreading it to others. Honestly, I was watching everything that was going on, like mouth agape. Like I was just like, I can't believe this is happening. Why are all these people who are trying to give correct information, trying to give the full information so that people can make a well-educated and decision about what they're going to do as far as like, are they going to wait to get natural immunity after getting the infection and getting better, or are they going to take, the Pfizer and Johnson & Johnson, all these other mRNA vaccines? And I say that in air quotes because there's some other information that has come out where there are doctors now disagreeing whether the mRNA technology is a vaccine, versus it actually being gene therapy. Now I'm not a doctor. I'm not I'm not a super smart person, so I'm gonna let you guys all do that information investigation for yourselves. But it was really discouraging for me because there was really a lot of infighting, especially from political realms, from the right and the left. There was definitely a lot of individuals and content creators who were also agreeing and disagreeing with, what was being sent out from the government, from the CDC, from from the mouth of our president, and other individuals like Mr. Fauci. And honestly, it was just so confusing that like information would pop up and go, oh, what's this new information? And all of a sudden the information would get taken down. There would be individuals giving reports on this information, say, hey, this stuff is like affecting, especially young men, youths, and they're having heart issues. And then that information was taken down. And so it got to the point where, or these people were getting banned outright. And it got to the point where they started putting like little links over here. It says, hey, if you want to know the true information about the COOF, click here and learn more. It was all just so very, very confusing. And especially when it was a technology that was rushed out, seemingly by, the previous administration. I mean, obviously, these things were being pushed out so that we could, protect people. And unfortunately, the technology was very different than what it was advertised. And when it comes out, years later, that the information that they were saying was absolutely incorrect, it did not stop from getting the infection. It did not stop it from spreading to others. And in fact, I know people individually who have gotten these so-called mRNA vaccines, and they have so many different issues. They are sick all the time. Their immune system is compromised. They've had a lot more hospitalizations. We've had people die because of it as well. And unfortunately, this information, even today, is still being suppressed. And I think because we're getting to the point where one of these big tech organizations, such as Twitter with Elon Musk, being the CEO, that now we are now seeing this information from the dark corners of the internet, from emails, to discussions. And honestly, it makes me feel like I can't trust anyone. I can't trust what's being said from the White House. I can't trust the things that are being said from these so-called doctors or these people with doctoral, letters at the end of their name, and they say that they're smart and they know what they're what they're doing, and it turns out that the things that they're saying were complete lies and incorrect. And so it begs the question, like, who do we trust now? Do we trust, the journalists and, individuals who, like CNN and Fox News, and we trust them 100% complicitly? Or do we have to now do our own research and start looking at other individual content creators who are journalists, who are not connected to any of these big pharma companies, big tech companies, and hopefully they are telling the truth? It's a very strange world that we live in right now. And I think myself, how many times I look at things and hope that they're completely correct. And that's why I put the information that where I got it from. That way, if I need to go back and make a correction and make a video, say, hey, I was incorrect about this link or this information, it was, debunked or whatever the case may be. I'm just like you guys. I'm just an individual that's looking through these things as best as they can with the time that they have allotted, and then I'm just regurgitating it out to you guys. So hopefully this is good entertainment. Hopefully this is good information so that you guys can be informed as well as myself. And this is so I can get this stuff out of my head. Now, Dr. Malone, who holds 9 patents of the mRNA technology, discussed the vaccine risks on the Joe Rogan's podcast during the pandemic. The podcast host was, as well as his guest, got a lot of backlash, with Dr. Malone being canceled on social media applications, some uploads on YouTube from other places that he spoke to other people on other podcasts and clips were quickly taken down, and as well as they started putting links as well as clickable links to like the CDC or like the White House or other things. I think PolitiFact is one of the other places that they were connecting to, and they started doing this in the name of vaccine hesitation. Now, this is a question to myself and to you guys. Did you take the vaccine, and in your opinion, did the risk outweigh the risk? Now, obviously, you don't have to disclose your medical history or, what your decision was. And if you want to give it, wonderful. I would just I'm just kind of curious what you guys all think. I'm sure people are going to wonder if I took it or not. And so I wanted to kind of go through my process. Now, I personally did not take the mRNA vaccines. I didn't take any of them. And this is because when I was doing my own research, I noticed that there was a lot of conflicting information about what it actually did. Number one. Number two, it was a brand new technology that hadn't been out for very long. And number three, it was rushed to the public without long-term any kind of like long-term studies on it. There was none. There's no long-term studies on adults, on children, men, women, age range. There was no information. There was literally nothing done for us to figure out what the risks were, especially long-term risks. And I'm actually kind of curious what's going to happen over the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years, and whether these things are really going to change, us as human beings and like change like our immunities. I just don't know what's going to happen. And so for me and myself, I didn't take it because there was just so much conflicting information. There was no long-term data as far as like the risks. And if anybody talked about the risks, and if anybody talked about anything that would go against the the seeming narrative that this is a good thing and just get the jab, I was like, I'm out until I have more information. And I'm honestly glad that I did, because as more information came out, it's seemingly some scary stuff going on, even though it is small. But it's scary. So I'm just glad that I didn't. And, I'm here now, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the future on that. Now, on August 27th, 2021, Dr. Scott Goliath, a Pfizer director with over 550,000 Twitter followers, saw a tweet he didn't like, a tweet that might hurt sales for Pfizer's mRNA vaccines. The tweet explained correctly that natural immunity after COVID infection was superior to vaccine protection. It called on the White House to follow the science, quote unquote, and exempt people with natural immunity from upcoming vaccine mandates. It came not from an anti-vaxxer like Robert F. Kennedy Jr., but from Dr. Biet Gourier, a physician who had briefly followed Gottlieb as the head of the Food and Drug Administration. Further, the tweet actually encouraged people who did not have a natural immunity to get vaccinated. This is a quote from Alex Bernstein's Substack. I definitely would encourage you to follow him, at least over on Twitter, which is obviously free. I'm really glad to have him back and to see all the things that he's producing right now on social media again, because he's unbanned for saying things that were correct. Now, with the White House, big tech, and big pharma using censorship, pro-vax ads in terms like follow the science and like just get vaccinated, it's good for everybody, all these wonderful things. And when the actual science went against what they were saying, especially about children, pregnant women, or women who want to get pregnant, and what were the side effects. Now, unfortunately, there are some really negative side effects to some females who have gotten the jab. Things like menstrual cycles, like being basically completely stopping, stop producing eggs. They're having like really bad issues with that, especially talking about children. Like I was just saying before, they were having heart issues, and I just completely forgetting the side effects right now. But there was some really bad stuff that was going on, and people just dying from it, having their complete immunity system compromised, and they die from, just regular stuff, especially people who were undergoing things like chemotherapy, where they were already compromised as it is. And if they put that on top of getting the jab, people were having some really serious issues. So what were my thoughts on that? My thoughts are always, protect our women, protect our children, obviously. Now, for some of these individuals now who have gotten this, have even people that me and my wife know, unfortunately, they're not able to have children anymore because of it. And that's really, really sad. And especially when we're in a day and age where we're down 2, 3, 5% in the United States alone with our birth rates because of issues of obesity, because of issues of all these different toxins that are going into our bodies, heavy metals, phthalates, which are microplastics. All these different things are going on. And it's really unfortunate. It's unfortunate, my wife and I can't have children. It's unfortunate that other people who are having these issues and these side effects can't have children or are struggling to get pregnant. There's some individuals who have talked on Joe Rogan's podcast where they believe that some of these larger countries who are, seemingly have controlled their birth population, especially in places like Japan and China. And there's some issues where they're going to get to a point where they're not replacing the people that need to continue to, build things. And unfortunately, if we keep going backwards with our birth rate, we're not going to have enough people to, build our homes. We're not going to have enough people to run our warehouses or to deliver our goods. We're just going to start running out of people because, that generation is getting smaller and smaller and smaller as generations go on. And it's a really scary thing. But obviously I want to hear your guys' thoughts about it. So don't forget to let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Send us your topic ideas via theperiodicreview@gmail.com. All of our sources and links are in the video's description down below. And from my family to yours, good night. Today's video is sponsored by viewers like you, so thank you. If we earned your subscription today, don't forget to hit that red subscribe button, click that damn bell, and turn on your notifications so you don't miss a content release. The best way to support the channel is to like this video, share it with family and friends, and don't forget to leave a comment down below. Send all of your topic ideas, articles, and video links to theperiodicreview@gmail.com. All of our links are in the description down below.